Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick map review here. I've been looking for a large scale Farm Sim 19 map for quite a while, um, and just have struggled really finding a good map that's large, 16x plus, um, that actually is finished, good detail, a high quality map, things work the way they're supposed to. And I believe I found exactly what I've been looking for here. This is Peace River, BC. I got this from Camille Mapping on Facebook. It's a private page, so you have to join to get access to the downloads. I joined, got in, I don't even know if it took 20 minutes, had access to the downloads, got the maps, and so far I've messed around just a little bit. I love everything I see about this map. It's Canadian map, obviously huge. Everything's big. Farm sites are big. Fields are big. This is I believe technically it would be a 24x map. Six 4x maps smashed together is the size of this map. It is enormous. This is the starting farm if you do new farmer mode. You own all this dead space up here is not part of the map. The map border, there's just a fine line here. You can see that's the actual map border. I assume didn't want to create, I don't know. Anyway, that's dead space. That's nothing up there. You own all this other extra land. This is mostly dead space or cell point ground. This is a river. We'll talk about that extensively here in a little bit because there's a caveat to that. There is some grass around some of these areas. Most of it's filled with trees, though. You can't get to a lot of it, so it's pretty useless space. As a new farmer mode, you own these 7 fields right here and all the extra areas. But it is huge. So if you wanted to sell this, start land, $10.6 million. So if you start without owning any land, that's what it's going to cost you to buy this if you wanted to start here. There's also a farm here. This is a cattle operation. We'll take a little closer look at all these too as we go through here. This is like a dairy cattle operation here with 3 fields with it, 4.2 million basically. This would be a feedlot style cattle farm with a couple fields, just about 4 million. Just another farm site here. 5 fields included in this one, a little bit bigger in size, 6 million, a little over 6 million. And then there's also the hog farm over here. And this is one where I said we'll get to this later because of the river. You are split by the river. Nice hog farm if you're into running a pig farm. I like the way this is set up. I like the buildings. It's very well laid out. A lot of farm ground to go with it. However, and at first I thought this was kind of a jerk move having 2 of your fields all the way across the river because there is no way to cross the river until way down here. There's a little highway that runs right along the bottom here and a bridge that crosses the river, and you tie back into the gravel roads here and can come up to these fields that way. I know some people who play and think, well, it's not realistic to drive, 30 seconds into all your fields and be done. So they like the fact that you got to drive. Map is so big. I did a test earlier, just drove a pickup truck, 75 mile an hour was the top speed, from north to south down this road right here, all the way until at border to border. It took me 3 minutes and 50 seconds, border to border, straight north and south. Obviously, it's wider east-west than it is tall north-south. So if you take that number, the 3 minute, basically 4 minutes, and that's at 75 mile an hour. Tractors probably average throughout the game 25 mile an hour, so 3 times the time. You're looking at almost 12 minutes to drive all the way down to the south border of the map. Then you got to cross over the river, another, 10-ish back up. You're easily looking at a 25 minute drive by tractor to loop around and get to these other fields. So just know that. Kind of neat. kind of not neat. If you don't like that, stay away from it. So I will say, starting in new farmer mode, you do not start with equipment, even though that is a caveat of new farmer mode. Um, there is no equipment. You do own the land, and you have $6 million. Seems like a lot of money, I know, but you have to remember, a Canadian map, these fields are big. This is a lot of space you're covering. You're going to need a lot of equipment. So take that as it were. You start with the middle game mode. I guess I forget off the top of my head what it's called. But you don't start with any land. You don't start with any equipment, and you have to buy everything. It's a little OP. You start with 80 million bucks. That's a lot. I feel like that's a lot based on some of the prices on the land on some of these. This one's $10 million. This one down here was a little over $4 million. You can buy a lot of ground and a lot of equipment for $80 million. That goes a long ways. So a little bit maybe OP, but a lot of people like to play that way. So if that's what you like, that's the one for you. And then, of course, the farm manager mode with the hardest settings, tight economy. I kind of looked at the prices on that real quick. It starts you with $10 million. You don't own any land. You don't own any equipment. And the 10 million bucks, the prices didn't really look too off pace with what they are here. A little bit lower, obviously, because it's the hard mode, but it didn't look terrible. It didn't look like it was going to make it hard to make any money by any means. So just a little tighter on things. And 10 million bucks is plenty if you're going to start a farm from scratch. Get down here into a farm like this for $4.2 million. That leaves you 5.8 to buy equipment. This one over here, 6 million, a little over 6 million. You could even get into some of that if you're, wanting to spend more on more land and maybe buy some used or older equipment to get started. So that is an option. You don't start with a loan at all. So that's that. Let's take a little closer look here at the actual farm now that kind of that boring stuff's out of the way. One thing I will say is, we play farm sim for the farming, for the tractors and the farm work and everything like that. But I hope everybody takes a minute. If you play this map, take a minute and look at the attention to detail that they've taken here to create this map. I don't know if this house is something that the map maker made himself or if this is a mod that he built into the map. So I don't know who actually to give credit to on this house here particularly, but this is a cool house. This is your sleeping spot, obviously at the front door. That's true of any of the farms on the map. But look at inside this house. This is a farming game. We want to see the tractors and the shops in the shed, so nobody cares about the house. But I hope everybody takes a minute to take a look at this and appreciate the level of detail that is inside the house that 99.9% of us are never going to utilize because we don't care. And if this much detail is put into something like the house on your farm, imagine how much detail was put into the things that we actually care about: the fields, the equipment, the placeables all around the farm. As far as I can tell, and I haven't played extensively on the map at all yet. I've only, messed around with a few things real quick. Everything seems to function. I haven't found anything that didn't work like it was supposed to or anything I really didn't like. Obviously, like doors like this, they don't open from the outside. You got to go in a walk-in door on the other side to open up the big doors. It's not really a surprise. That's a modded building. I have that as a mod. It's the same thing. So, but you have your fuel, your liquid fertilizer, you have your fertilizer, lime, and seed buy points. And these placeables are going to be common throughout the entire map, no matter what farm you're on. This is going to be your herbicide, your weed killer spray buy point. This farm has the big storage setup, big grain leg, bins, global company controlled. Control G, there's your global company for your grain dryers. This is the one up here on north on the start farm. The other one is located down here that isn't a farm per se that is literally just a grain setup. I assume just so you have one on the south end of the map too to store grain if you're going to farm down here. There's a sell point on the map right close to that as well, and another one over here. But we'll get to those as well. I just wanted to throw a reminder in here too. If you are playing this map, seasons is built into this map. So you need to deactivate your seasons mod and any geo mods, and you need to, because there are grain dryers, functional grain dryers on this map, it uses the global company. So you need to deactivate your place anywhere mods or mod and come into here to global company, Alt G, global company, and come into the settings and go and activate your extended placeable checkbox. That will allow you to keep adding your placeables. That's your place anywhere basically, but it has to happen through global company. So because this has the dryers, you have to do it that way. I haven't had any problems with anything. Like I said, I did not, my seasons mod is deactivated. My geo mods are all deactivated. And as you can see, I have seasons access to everything built right in. So that is that caveat. Again, this is your main starting farm here. Cool storage. I don't know if some of this, again, I haven't played yet on this map, but I don't know if some of this is just for looking at. I feel like this, because I can walk through these bins, so I feel like these are just decoration on this one. But this one up ahead here, I feel like this is a usable storage. So I'm not sure. I'm hopefully going to be testing some of these out. See, you can walk through those too, but I feel like this is usable. So not sure. Got to check some of that out, but I know the grain leg. And then these bins over here that you can just see back in the distance there. There's a line of bins there, field bins. I feel like those would be usable as well, but those are things I'll find out what you can and can't do as I start to play a Let's Play series on this map. So that's your main start farm if you're doing new farmer mode. Let's go check out the dairy cattle farm real quick. Again, the detail inside these houses is amazing. I hope everybody takes a minute to take a look at these. It's crazy. And by the way, thank a modder out there. You know, they do all the work that make this game fun to play, good to look at. So make sure you give them your appreciation for all the cool mods that they do, because a lot of them don't ask for anything in return. So make sure you tell them we love what they do. So again, good storage buildings, fertilizer, all your placeables are going to be the same farm to farm to farm. There's your fuel, another shed. This leg setup has a grain dryer, but it is not a functional. It's just a visual dryer. So this one is not in global company. This one does not dry corn. This is just a grain leg setup. So you're going to put corn in, you're going to get corn out. You are not going to get dry corn out of this one. This one does, however, have the the cattle, dairy cattle on it. So you have your cow barn, slurry pit, dry manure comes out over there if you feed them straw. I don't, because I don't really like messing with straw and dry manure. I do like these barns. It has a 6, I believe it's 6. Let's check here. Where was the load-in point? There we go. Yeah, 600 head capacity in this barn. So you have your fermenting silos here on the edge. Chaff or grass in, ferments into silage. There's a bunker over here that you can also use for more capacity. So that's that in a nutshell. I'm not going to, nuts and bolts every single building on this thing because I don't want this video to be 3 hours long, because trust me, it could be. Again, amazing inside the house. We come out here. This cattle yard is feedlot style cattle farm. Again, you have some on-farm storage, cool buildings, nice layout. Still got your fertilizers, liquid fertilizer, dry fertilizer, lime, weed killer over there. Dry fertilizer, lime, seeds are around here somewhere. I think they're on the back side of this building. Maybe it was back over here, but I know they're there. Again, you have your fermenting silos built in. A couple hoop buildings. Bunkers. There's your fertilizer seed storage right back there behind the bunkers. Feedlot style cattle farm. 12, I think it was 12 different pens. Each one has its own water, food, areas, milk delivery stations, slurry pit, loadout, dry manure loadout area, water storage. I don't know exactly how. They still have the blue pipes that you have to move around, so not really a huge deal there, and I'm used to just turning those on at those pipes, but I'm not sure how this functions. They all the animal yards have these as well that you can turn on. I don't know what that does. I don't know if that's just for looking at or if that actually is how you get your water, but this yard at least still has the blue pipes you place. So that is this farm in a nutshell. If you like the feedlot style, to me this one looks really cool. This just isn't what we have where I'm from, so I don't gravitate towards this kind of cattle operation. I would choose the other one, the dairy farm in the barn. So down here in the corner, this is where a lot of there's some sell points, buy points, the shop. We can go take a look at the shop. It's kind of all cluttered down here into this corner, which 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Kind of sucks it's all down in the corner of a really huge map, and I don't know if this is based off of a real area or if this is just built. I guess I didn't look into that to see if that was the case, but you can see out around here, you're just like the milk sell point is down here, the root crop cell down here, there's a BGA down here, all kinds of stuff down here. This is the BGA, deliver stuff in there, sell point in there. Some other dealership buildings. It's just kind of a cool little town area. Let's finish looking at our building sites here. This is the other farm site. This one does not have a grain leg. This is just similar to the other ones. You got the red buildings, the auxiliary bins over there. This one has same placeables for your fertilizer, your seed, your liquid fertilizer, your weed killer, diesel fuel, some storage over there. Again, I'm hoping those are usable. I assume they are, just based on what I've seen, but lots of good buildings on all these farms. And then here's your grain storage for this farm. Now again, this looks like it's set up to be the quote-unquote automatic storage, auger in, auger out. These look like they actually might be individual use bins. So I'm hoping that's what they're like on all the farms. Pop an auger over the top, you can fill it up, unload right here. Wonder if I can see a trigger. That doesn't seem to be... Okay, that functionality I'm not having currently, so anyway. This one does have, excuse me, does have an anhydrous bullets on there. Don't really see this on farm where I'm from. I'm not sure if this would be like this in Canada, or if this is just a functionality of we're playing farm sim. There's nowhere close to buy anhydrous. I'm going to throw an anhydrous buy point on here somewhere. Either way, I like it because in farm sim, it is inconvenient when your town is down here and you're on a huge map to be running down here every time you need to fill a tank with anhydrous. So I can see the farm sim necessity to that situation. Again, it's quite a ways away if you're starting in the northwest corner of the map, but it is there. So again, that's that one. And the last one up here is the hog site. And this one, again, farm-wise, crop-wise, looks very much the same. Nice buildings, lots of storage, and you've got two, I believe they are 500 head hog houses out here. You know, look around, all of our standard placeables are here somewhere. Good under roof storage on all these farms. I really like that. Here's your two hog houses. I believe they're 500 head capacity. Yep, 500 head apiece. So, one thing I was kind of curious about is these. I've seen this mod, and I've seen this as a silage fermenter. Your chaff or your grass goes in, your silage comes out, right? I'm not completely sure why we have that on a hog farm, but hey, everybody likes to make silage. It's a good side gig for making money, so it's there, you know, if you want to utilize it. But it could also be that it could be utilized as a storage point for straw, maybe. And that could be why that's there. Again, I don't use straw myself in my hog buildings or in my cattle operations. The only thing the straw does is create a dry manure, and I don't farm that way. I don't use dry manure, so by not giving them the straw, I don't get the dry manure. I work all in slurry. It's a lot easier, less equipment, and you don't have to mess with all that extra straw. Yes, the hogs may not function at 100%, productivity, but it's a small price to pay for, taking that extra hassle off. As I see it anyway. Play your own game as you see fit. So, sell points, pool silos down here. Just a simple little kind of middle of the nowhere sell point. That is it. Single building sitting on the edge of the map, middle of nowhere. I assume it's because if you're playing over here, you're not going to want to drive clear the heck over here every time. So that is an option. BC Ranch. This is going to be your hay. BC Ranch is going to be your silage. And the grass hay straw, I'm not sure if that actually ever becomes sellable, if any of these places actually ever buy it. On any other maps I've played on, when you see it like this and there's no prices, they don't ever become available. So I guess I'll just have to wait and see as I play. Is there some point in the season where that becomes available to sell? But you can sell your silage here at the BGA. The BGA also takes your manure and slurry if you're not utilizing it and want to make a little extra money on it. BC Ranch does take your canola straw. Where I'm from, I would expect to see corn trash, corn stalk bales, or bean stubble bales, bean straw bales. Don't see that on this map, so I assume that's just a American to Canadian difference. I know Canada does grow canola, where I don't. Where I'm from Central Iowa. We don't know canola here, so that may just be a difference in farming from us to Canada. So, and then your dry corn is just at Canuck silo, Pioneer silo, or Pool silo. So, and again, that can only be produced on this farm site here or this dryer that is down here on this one, which if you do new farmer mode, you do own both of them right out of the gate. So take that for what it's worth. We also have the Canuck silo, standard sell point, scale, pits to dump in, drive out. Looks like a sell point to me, nothing fantastic. Again, same thing, sell point, dump your crop, drive on the scale, in and out, pretty self-explanatory. And it's the same with these. I assume this is your root crop. Sell point. Yep. Yep, there you go. Potatoes and sugar beets. Root crop or Pioneer Silo takes them too. If you're into doing those. Again, that's outside my farm sim wheelhouse, so I don't. And again, down here in this corner is kind of the catch-all of everything. Your milk gets sold down here. Your animal dealers down here. Gas station, but I don't see a need to use a gas station myself when you have on-farm fuel barrels. There is a couple sell points down here, and there is a nutrient place to buy seed, fertilizer, lime, anhydrous. You know, your liquid fertilizers, your herbicides, all that stuff is purchased here. Dry fertilizer through the building. And there was, like that's the BGA. See, there's another one here. A seed company. Buy your seed there if you're looking, you know, if you're wanting to do it bulk like that. So that's pretty much it that way for sell points and things like that. Again, I don't want to get too deep. This is already getting to be a long video, and we're hardly even looking at anything here, guys. But again, these fields are huge. It looks like a super well done map. Everything I've seen just works the way it should. And I don't notice any of the little glitches you typically see on a map, especially a map of this size. The detail's really good throughout. So again, I really think this is going to be a nice, fun map to play on. Again, Camille Mapping on Facebook. Go join up and get the map. There is a mandatory placeable file that comes along with this map. 1.3 gigs for the placeables, 1.22 gigs for the map itself. You do need to download both. And again, this map includes seasons, so you have to make sure you deactivate that stuff because it works on the map. So I hope everybody takes a chance and checks it out. Stay tuned. We'll be doing some Let's Play videos on this and seeing how Canadian farming works. Thanks for watching, everybody.